I want to do this comment justice. I want to make sure that we take the time to look at interesting questions and thoughts. And so this comment here acknowledges the fact that people could be turned off to the Christian faith because God forgives evil people. And I actually think there's a way to make sense of this, although it might not make this reality easy to accept. And so to quickly explain, there's about 4 different views you can have on this topic. If someone is evil and murders your family members, how do you address this? How do you think about it? An atheistic worldview doesn't necessarily have any satisfaction in how you think about this. An evil person gets the same fate as a good person. Someone who's the abuser, the oppressor, the inflictor of war gets the same ending as the person who suffers and does good, doesn't get acknowledged. They die the same way. There's no satisfaction in what happens. We could look to a justice system where whatever anyone does, there will be just retribution or judgment. Maybe you could think of it as karma. And there's another category, which is mercy, where a benevolent God just forgives and just overlooks the offenses. Each of these are somewhat unsatisfactory for several reasons. The issue with a justice system is that each one of us are actually evil to an extent. You might not feel like we're completely evil, but we do put evil out into the world. We contribute through hurting others, harboring resentment and anger and envy in our hearts, even lust, and we often act out on this. And we like to kind of overlook that and forget that. But in a system oriented on justice, we fail the test. So for a just system to be true, we all fall short of that standard. And all of us are actually worthy of some kind of punishment. If we really, even if we used our own system of judging other people back on ourselves, we would fail that test. So then we look to the system of mercy. And the system of mercy is cool, except it overlooks those evil, atrocious acts done. And there's nothing done about it. The Christian worldview combines those in a beautiful way. It says that God is a just God, meaning there must be retribution and punishment. In order to show that something evil is actually bad, there has to be some kind of punishment to show it. But at the same time, God is loving and merciful. So how does he work these two together in our lives and in the biblical narrative and the gospel message to you and to me? Is that Jesus Christ lived the life that we couldn't. He was perfect and he didn't harm anybody in any way. Yet he died a death. And when he died, we understand that to be not just a simple crucifixion, which would have been excruciating, but it was the wrath of God being poured out, the sins of the world on Jesus. The Bible said he became sin. He became a curse on that cross. That's strong language, and it means that something significant happened, and it was justice. Not because Jesus deserved it, but because God was making a way in unification with Jesus. Jesus was on board with this. This is as much his plan as it was God's. They worked together to save humanity so that there would still be justice, that there will have been punishment poured out for every wicked, evil sin that makes our hearts hurt. But through that, there would be mercy. And those of us who ourselves don't feel like we've done as much wrong as others, who still have done wrong, will receive forgiveness through Jesus, through believing in him and what he said and trusting God's plan with things. And through that being unified with God and having the Holy Spirit dwell in our hearts. That's the hope that I have in this. And I don't feel like that answer will land perfectly well with everyone, but I think it's the answer the Bible gives us.